Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and supplying you the tools to manifest anything here on the Adriatic Sea in Brindisi, Italy. And I wanted to shoot a couple of videos because tonight I'm going to go to an amazing dinner, and tomorrow we're moving on to a new location. Okay, we're going to talk about aliens, and I have a video clip that I'm going to share with you after this video. You're going to see it come up to, let's see, when you're looking at it, I guess it's going to be on your left, the left side of the video. It's going to be a recommended video. It is the former Prime Defense Minister of Canada. All right, what is the Prime Defense Minister? I don't know what that is. Defense Minister of Canada. Defense Minister of Canada. A very credible guy, who, by the way, does not believe in aliens and super skeptical, had no time nor interest in it at all. I'm going to share that video because he had access to information and insiders, if there's any such real thing. And really check this out. And there's an amazing speech in this video you're going to see at the end if you click on it, that just explains why he believes that there are aliens. Now, I am going to share something with you right now that I feel very strongly about, based on just what I know, because I feel that I have a very strong connection, as do you. So I'm not doing anything special, and that is that there are no aliens. You're going, what? Even those, I've had people contact me and tell me that, they know that they were on other planets before. And so you've had conversations with me. There are no aliens because alien means that there's something that is foreign to us, and that's what we call other people from other countries, and we're all human beings. There's no alien. There's nothing different. Every human is a human, whether they live in another country or not. Every life form is a life form, whether on another planet or not. And of course there are other life forms. I'm really shocked when people absolutely are still living in the dark ages, believing that they are not only not existing in the trillions, trillions, and trillions, and trillions, endless galaxies, probably trillions of universes. There are, what, 30 billion galaxies, just right here, solar systems and galaxies within just our little area, and then we have 30 billion more in Andromeda and beyond. It's probably trillion. I don't even know the figures. It's really irrelevant because the telescopes keep showing that we have more and more and more than we even recognized. Of course there are other life forms, other energies. They're not alien. They're all just another creation of the One. Somebody said, but Landria, you don't talk about God, and I don't want to exclude God. I'm talking about God in every single video. God is the One. The One is God. You can call it whatever you want. It is the energy, and all this manifesting is the One. That energy is not separate. It's not like, oh, I have this manifesting capability, and God is over here, and I'm excluding God. No, that is God. You are the essence of the One. Everything is. There is no separation. So it's funny because people say they understand it, and then they'll ask me that question. So I know that they're not really seeing it the way that it could be, that is more expansive for them. So when you open up and you realize everything is the One intelligently just expressing itself, and you're one of these things, you never end. Okay, now I want to talk about what's going on in this whole alien thing, and I want to talk about the two things that exist within it. According to me, I believe, right? I believe, or for me, the two magic words, for me, which means my opinions and thoughts or insights, do not have to be yours. And if you think something different, doesn't make it wrong, nor am I going to sit and argue with you. There's no argument. You're creating your reality at every moment. Everyone is allowed to do that, and everyone is right. Right? So the problem I feel with, especially the United States, is absolutely they've had contact. They know this. They've known it for centuries. And they have decided to keep it from the public. But the problem that I believe exists is that they lie. They're lying about this and making up stories about flare. How many times can you use the flare and swamp gas excuse? We know they're here. We've seen it, and they're making themselves more and more visible so that we get used to the idea and we accept that it's not a big deal. And especially the fact that not only are they showing up, they haven't blasted us to, Timbuktu. Why? Because they're not evil. And there's some deviations out there just like they are here. We're the ones that are the most primitive, dangerous planet in all of the universes. And we do affect them. And that's what I want to talk about today. They will intervene at some point if we don't stop this. And this is why this channel, for me, is getting you to stop the separation, the blame, the judgment. Somebody said they were at church and it's so terrible because the other people are judging and they're doing all this stuff. And I'm thinking, no, you're still the problem. If you're believing that, you're judging them that they're judging, right? You know it. You don't have to judge it. You know it. Okay, I don't personally agree with this. It doesn't make them wrong. They live in that dimension. We're going to talk about dimensions today and alien life form. They live in that dimension, which means they are limiting themselves. They're still judging and separating themselves. Now, there are two things going on. This is what I believe. There are two things going on. We have the material world. Somebody said, well, if it's an illusion, I don't get it. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Every single one of those aliens, those other life forms, never get destroyed either. So, but they can live forever if they want to, some of them, in that form. We have illness and other things because we inflicted density and negativity on ourselves in lower frequency, which destroys the body and destroys the planet, destroys each other. All right, when we end that, we go up here, that ends, we can live forever. That's when longevity kicks in. If you want to. I don't know why anybody would want to stay here unless we were in that higher dimension and it was beautiful, right? Then we could have utopia. What's happening is, you look at this and you think, why the alien life forms, our other beautiful life forms out there that do live in peace, the ones that live in peace, they're rooting for us. They want to see us succeed. They cannot interfere because we are allowed our own choices because we have free will. And we're playing out our own personal spiritual growth. That is what's happening beyond the physical form. All right? Because when you leave this body, that continues. So if you go over on a lower frequency, you're going to have to continue your learning on the other side or choose other forms to express or play out lessons so that you can master those and just really experience all of the things that you can be the one. You're the one, not you separately from the one. All right? So we have the physical world that appears to be real to us. We have the other life forms that are in different frequencies than we are, living completely different expressions in a physical world. They would like to see us advance. We have really messed things up. Of course you can't. We, because we're collective. You can't say, oh, I've only been here, 40 years. No, you have been here centuries. Most likely, almost everybody here has been here many times. There are some who've come down that have never been here. That's extremely rare. And that is part of the plan to accelerate our frequency, right? So I'm going to assume, just for now, that you have been here many, many times. So you're playing this out, and we're supposed to get past the karmic, lessons and get it right this time. Why? We're going to raise the frequency, everything, and we're going to save this planet. So we're doing double duty. We are saving, elevating this material world that is an illusion, but it's still a creation of the one. So even if it's an illusion, it still is part of our, I don't like to say game too much because a lot of people don't like that, part of our creation that we're playing out. That's very much an important part of everything. Those other life forms are doing the same thing. So they're playing in that scenario with us. Can they save the planet? Can they do things for us? Can they help us? Can they, are we going through with our agreement with them? Or are we screwing everything up? And I'm going to tell you right now, our governments aren't in charge. How do we take charge? We want to save this planet. It starts with us. No more pointing fingers, no more blame the president, blah, blah. Talk to the hand. That's one person in a very small group of people. And money does not control us. Look at everybody who's ever done amazing things in the past. It was never money that got them ahead. In fact, those who had the least money and had the most faith were the ones that conquered lower frequencies. All right? So it is possible. I want every single person to experience peace and joy and loving and compassion for each other and everything walking on the planet. We must choose our own pathway. What we eat, how we treat our food, how we treat our animals, what we ingest. And we must personally make the best, highest choices, because what's going to happen is that the world, the planet, will stop destroying itself because we will care. And those other life beings are playing in that game. They don't want to see this planet destroyed. It's a very real experience. And then we all go off, and then guess what? We have to go do it again somewhere and make up for the mess we made. We don't want to do this. There are alien lives. They've been visiting us forever. They've been visiting us. They've met with governments. I'll put the video on there. I believe this man. And why do astronauts lie? Do you know how many astronauts said, yes, they're alien life forms? Big whoop. How many jet, pilots and military, but how many more people have to come out at their own risk of destroying their own lives because people want to hush them up? Why? Because our government doesn't want us to know the truth. And I don't want to get into conspiracy theory. I don't want to even go there. What I would desire is that we know it exists and that we want to be their friends because we want to save this planet and do our job because we are in charge of this place. And if we don't get our acts together, we will destroy the most beautiful planet in the galaxy. This is such a gift. But we are on a primitive planet. It's tough, I know. We are with people that do stuff that just makes no sense. But you raising your frequency will affect them. You don't have to physically go do anything to change that. If you go into a higher frequency, it affects absolutely everybody on the planet. This is your main job. Many of you have lived on other planets. I have. Why is that so surprising? We have no limits. Our energy cannot be created nor destroyed. You think we were confined to one speck in trillions and trillions of galaxies? Of course not. That's ridiculous because we have no limits. And if you say that we do, then you believe God does because we're one. So whatever the one is, we have. We're just part of it expressing everything. There are dimensions. One is the physical illusion that we must play out that's very serious. Those other entities, those other energies playing in it, aware of us, trying to help us, part of their little scenario, their game. Very real to them too. They have a higher consciousness of what is on the other side, but it doesn't take away from their job here to make a big difference on this planet and to help us, because when they help us and they do whatever they can without interfering with our free will, they know that we personally as spirits will ascend. So it's not just about a physical saving. It's about when we go to the higher frequency, when we go over, we all go to a higher frequency and all of us go back to the one. And maybe we'll explode back out again. I don't have those answers. But I know that it's not just the physical world. By saving this planet and going to the fourth and fifth dimension, we will also ascend to the higher frequency, and everybody, all the energies, the aliens, the other planets, will all go back to the one. So it goes beyond just this physical world. It just continues on. There's no break point. Oh, here's the physical world and there's the spiritual world and they're different. No, they're not. We're ascending within the physical third-dimensional bodies, and then we're going to send up here. And that's what they're trying to help us to do, and they're going to make their appearance at some point here, whether our governments say it or not. And the government people are speaking out, and this guy, Hellier, is not dead yet. And he came out with all this information, knowing that it could probably ruin his entire life. And it's being allowed. France has opened up their books. So many countries are opening up their government books and showing, yeah, we've had contact, we've seen them, we know they're here. So, can we get over this? It's not a debate. They're here. The governor of Arizona, look up the Phoenix Lights. Thousands of people saw them. They weren't flares. There are photographs and pictures now. See, we have our phones so we can take these photos and videotape this. You can't get around this. Why? They're making their presence known so that we can realize they are not destructive. And the U.S. government and everybody else has put out these jackass movies where all of them are evil and that we're so great and we battle them and conquer them. Cripe's sakes, they're not going to shoot at us. They're going to drop something down here that's bacteria that take us out and wouldn't hurt the rest of the planet. They're not dumb enough to destroy the planet. That's how humans think. Nuke everything. They would do that, would affect them. They're not going to do that anyways. There's nothing they can do to us that we aren't doing to ourselves. Dolores Cannon used to say that. Can you join me? Please, please join me. We don't have a lot of time. It will be destroyed at some point. I don't want that third-dimensional world to go down. Whether you go to a fourth or fifth and you live in a different planet, in a different dimension of Earth, a different version of Earth, doesn't mean we don't want that third dimension to come out of its density. I would never want this beautiful planet to be harmed, and the things that we do to it, it's heartbreaking. Let's stop it, let's end it. It starts with you, it starts with me. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.